All right, guys, welcome back to Under the Lights with Nicky Pringles. We got another good fight coming up. Let's break it down. So we got Terrence Bud Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez coming up soon. We're going to jump into the details of how that fight's going to probably play out. But before I even get into that, let me just set the stage first and foremost. So let's just call it what it is. 110%, this is a cash out fight for Terrence Crawford. I don't think that he thinks he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez at all. I mean, it's kind of a ridiculous prospect, but obviously if you're going to promote the fight, you're not going to say that. That's the only reason why he's calling out Canelo. It's 100% a cash out fight for Terrence Crawford. On the other hand, for Canelo, obviously it's probably going to be easy money for him. It doesn't hurt his legacy to destroy Terrence Crawford, and it's another way for him to not fight David Benavidez. So that's what I think is going on both sides of this fight. So to get into the details of how I see this fight going, I mean, it's really not that hard to see. He's moving up 2 weight divisions to face Canelo Alvarez, and we just saw in his last fight with Madrimov, he didn't really look that powerful or that fast, just moving up to junior middleweight. So, I mean, to go up to super middleweight and try to take on a mammoth like Canelo Alvarez and think you're really going to do much with that is kind of crazy. The way that I see it going in general, I just think that Canelo Alvarez, first of all, he's a tank. The guy, he can cut off the ring. He's got crazy hand speed. He's got an iron chin. I mean, if Gennady Golovkin couldn't hurt him, I don't see what Terrence Crawford's really going to do. He's taken the best shots from some of the hardest punchers and fought some of the highest talent in the world and has come out on top almost every single time against guys way bigger than him. I mean, the guy has to go up to light heavyweight to even find a challenge. And even then, he's starching guys like Kovalev. It's ridiculous. You can even see, like in some of the earlier fights, go watch the Terrence Crawford fight when he fought Amir Khan. I mean, obviously he won that fight. Amir Khan just kind of quit in like the 5th, 6th round or whatever it was. But I think it was in the first round, Terrence Crawford lands a right hand and drops Amir Khan, and Amir Khan just bounces right back up. As opposed to when Canelo, I think it was in the 6th round, lands his bomb of a right hand, it literally put him into another fucking universe. Like he was ethered, he was gone. So the difference in power is right there on the surface. It's not even close. And I know Amir Khan has a glass jaw, like no one's, really not privy to that information. But just look at the difference in like how devastating the punches were when they landed. That's a small thing to really nitpick on. I understand that, but it really does matter when you could see like what a naturally bigger guy is capable of doing versus the naturally smaller guy. So I know Terrence Crawford is very strong. He's actually one of my all-time favorite fighters. I love the guy. Same thing with Canelo. I'm not like downplaying Terrence Crawford. We all know that he's probably the most skilled boxer out there. And yeah, skills do pay the bills, but there are weight classes for a reason. So think about it like Roy Jones Jr., who's obviously my favorite fighter of all time. You see the poster behind me. He's the greatest. But that guy moved all the way up to heavyweight. And yeah, just because you stack a bunch of muscle on and you weigh in at the correct weight doesn't make you as thick or as dense or as powerful as the naturally bigger guys. I mean, he fought John Ruiz. He landed 1,000,000,000 shots. He looked great. He was sharp. He was fast. But he couldn't really do that damage that he could do on the smaller guys, despite the fact that he actually weighed like 200 pounds in that fight. So just because Terrence Crawford's going to bulk up and stock up quite a bit for this fight in general doesn't mean that he's going to add that much power to his innate power in general. And I think it's going to decrease his speed and make him sluggish on the feet in general. And I mean, what's he really going to do? Canelo Alvarez is going to come at you. He's going to throw those power shots. His hand speed is blazingly fast. Again, the guy's got an iron jaw. You can't knock him out. You can't get him out of there. And his combinations are ridiculous. His feinting's on point. His head movement's on point. And the guy can cut off the ring. He's going to get to Terrence Crawford. He's going to land. And I just don't think that Terrence Crawford's going to be able to take that. Now, you have to look at like what they all give and take. So what Canelo's giving, can Terrence Crawford take it? I doubt it. What Terrence Crawford is giving, can Canelo take it? 100% yes. Again, if Gennady Golovkin couldn't damage Canelo and even put him down or wobble him, what is Terrence Crawford going to do? He's not going to be picking him off all night and beating the shit out of him like he did to Errol Spence Jr. He's not going to be there to get hit all the time, Canelo. I mean, he might, get him with some sharp shots and some good counters here and there, but it's not going to be enough to really slow Canelo down or even get him out of there. But when Canelo does get to Terrence Crawford, every single punch that he lands is going to feel like a nuclear bomb going off on this guy. He's going to break him down. He's going to hurt him. I mean, you have to be kind of out of your mind and not see it that way. I mean, I hope he gets into some nice conversations in the comments about it. Again, this isn't me downplaying Terrence Crawford. It's just a classic case of the great smaller man never beats the great bigger man, and Canelo is a great. Rest assured of that. He's one of the greatest fighters in history, in my opinion. People always argue about like resume and all that stuff. And yeah, I know he's avoiding David Benavidez. But if you just look at his attributes as a whole, you could put Canelo Alvarez in any fight at any point in history, and he would be a problem, if not the victor of those fights. Again, iron chin, crazy hand speed, crazy combinations, crazy head movement, crazy durability. The guy's got everything that you could ever want in a fighter, save perfect endurance. If he had that motor where he never gassed out, like a Joe Calzaghe yet again, or an Errol Spence Jr., or a Henry Armstrong, or any of these guys where they could just throw a million punches, he would probably be one of the best fighters in history. But what he's done is he's learned how to manage his energy and manage his output so he doesn't gas out like he used to when he was a little bit younger, when he was dancing around a little bit more, like in the first Gennady Golovkin fight. You know, if you watch the first half of the first fight and the second fight with Gennady Golovkin, his slickness and his smoothness in general was all there. And then as the fight progresses, he kind of loses stamina. He can't use those moves the entire time like he could at the beginning of the fight. I think he realized that, and he learned how to become more economical with his movement and with his punches and his output. And that's a great way to handle that if you don't have that natural gas tank. So, I mean, not everyone's going to have that crazy gas tank where you never get tired. It's just not how every fighter's built. So he's done more than the best than he could with what he has, and he's a world-class talent, and he's still near the top of his game. He might not be exactly as good as he was at his peak, but he's still way, way up there, and it's going to be too much for Terence Crawford to handle. So I love Terence Crawford. I'm not downplaying, like I say, he's one of my favorite fighters. I know he's abnormally strong for his size, but he is the naturally smaller guy, and he's going to have issues doing anything really with Canelo as the fight goes on, especially when you consider the fact that Canelo doesn't even care if he lands flush on your chin. Terence Crawford's more of a sniper in that way, looks for the clean shots. Canelo will literally punch your arms until they die. He's doing this to light heavyweights. These guys are leaving the ring with massive bruises on their arms. They could barely lift them by the end of the fight. What do you think is going to happen when he hits Crawford in the arms with those shots all night long? I mean, even Floyd Mayweather, who beat Canelo, agreed that his arm was starting to hurt from catching those shots. So he started kind of evading them more and ducking and dodging instead of just catching them on the shoulder like he normally does. Even though he used the shoulder roll a lot, he actually said that those shots were starting to damage him and hurt him. So, I mean, it's not like Terence Crawford's unbreakable. He's not made out of glass, but on the same token, it's just you're getting pummeled by a naturally much bigger, much stronger guy, and his focus is there. He's never going to break concentration. He's not going to let Terence Crawford pick him off all night. The only hope that Terence Crawford has, if there's even a possibility of him winning that fight at all, is going to be by points or decision, in my opinion. Again, I just can't see any way that Terence Crawford's really going to hurt him. He is a great fighter, but again, what's he going to do? What is he really going to do? Terence Crawford knows as good as anybody else that he's cashing out in that fight, and whether he wins it or loses it, it's not going to hurt his legacy because he's moving up 2 weight classes. 2 weight classes is a phenomenal amount to move up to, by the way, and also to not only move up 2 weight classes, but to debut 2 weight classes higher against Canelo Alvarez is fucking insane. That's crazy. No tune-up fight, no nothing. Again, he just moved up to fight Madrimov, and he didn't look himself in that fight, and that's only at 154 pounds. So Canelo might be coming down to face Terence Crawford from light heavyweight and all that, but that's not going to drain Canelo. That's actually where he's supposed to be. You have to remember, Canelo is so destructive, and he's such a good fighter, and he's so talented that he has to move up above his natural weight limit to fight guys much bigger than him to even find a challenge. So what's he going to do? So, I just kind of wanted to break this down a little bit and just call it like I see it. It's going to be a fun fight, obviously. I mean, I'm going to watch it, of course. But if we don't think that this is going to be what it is, then, we're smoking crack here. Terence Crawford's a great fighter, but he's not going to make this one happen, I don't think. So if anyone else sees it different than me, feel free to argue with me in the comments or tell me your point of view. I mean, I was just watching a bunch of tape from Terence Crawford and from Canelo Alvarez, old fights that I've seen before. And I mean, think of it like this even. So Terence Crawford has great footwork, and he has good head movement and all that. He's excellent defensively too, but he absolutely does get hit. If you go back in time and watch, one of my all-time favorite matches was Terence Crawford versus Gamboa when Gamboa was in his prime and undefeated. Gamboa staggered Crawford, and he's a tiny guy compared to a Canelo Alvarez. So if you think Canelo's not going to land one of those shots, even like one of the ones that Gamboa did land, and you think it's not going to have more devastation than that, like, I mean, I don't know what to say. He's a lot older now. He's been through a lot more battles in general. He's not even as fresh as he was. He's going to stack on a ton of weight, which is going to drain your endurance. It's going to make you slower on the feet, more hittable, and it's going to make you tired in the earlier rounds rather than later. I don't think it's going to carry very well for him, but he knows as good as anyone else that that's the money fight. And I mean, not to make fun of Terrence Crawford, because I like the guy, but just because someone's cool and like you'd like to have a beer with him and he'd probably be a great guy to hang out with, doesn't mean that he has that charisma and that star power, which is really what makes fighters a ton of money. So Terrence Crawford's just not that guy. He doesn't sell a lot of fights. I love boxing. Like, I'm a pure boxing fan, so I'm always going to love a guy like a Crawford, even if he doesn't have that wild personality. But when we're talking about ticket sales and mainstream and raking in that dough, it just was never there for him. So he knows as good as anyone else that Canelo's his best bet to basically liquidate and cash out and make his career worth something more than just the legacy. And it's a very smart move on his part, don't get me wrong. But to be frank, it would have never even happened if Canelo was willing to fight David Benavidez and give the fans what they want instead of just pick the opponents he feels like fighting, which, by the way, I'm not even like really making fun of too much because I think he's earned that. Canelo is one of my favorite fighters ever. I love watching that guy fight in general and just seeing his skill set in the ring, even if he's not fighting the best of the best these days anymore. It's still a pleasure and a joy and honestly a treat. So I'm glad to see that. But let's just put it this way. Win, lose, or draw, Terrence Crawford's probably not going to fight again after this fight. I really do believe it's his cash-out fight. And I just think that Canelo is to Crawford what Terrence was to Spence. I think he's going to get dominated. I think he's going to get beat up, and I think he's going to get stopped. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. We'll talk about it more as we go. I mean, yeah, we're going to watch, Terrence Crawford bulk up and weightlifting and all that stuff, but it's just not the same thing. So, tell me what you guys think. If you think I'm seeing it wrong, I'm going to keep watching more tape on it in general and see if there's anything in there that I think I may have missed. But yeah, skills pay the bills, and Terrence is probably the most skilled of all of them. But at some point in time, it's just not enough to overcome those giants that he's trying to slay. So that's that. Thank you for watching, guys. Under the Lights with Nicky Pringles. I'll be back doing more content soon enough. God bless and peace. Kaka.